Welcome everyone to a new update, and today we'll cover everything you need to know about the current price action of Bitcoin, as we've had a very deep correction in the past 24 hours as the strong US dollar and some critical events are coming up. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel beneath and like this YouTube update if you enjoy the content that we are bringing out. If you like what we do, we also have a trade letter with the latest altcoin setups, market information and market analysis. You can try it for free for 1 week and the link can be found in the description beneath, and today we are sending out one. Same goes for our premium membership, which covers my personal trades, trade IDs and more. This can also be tested for 1 week for free. You can find it in the description beneath. Last night I had a beautiful dinner with CZ and Binance, which was fruitful, and I can truly say that he's one of the most inspiring people I've met in recent years in crypto. However, the dinner started and Bitcoin started to fall down quite significantly, which we have discussed in previous updates as a potential scenario if you are looking for longs. The sentiment is currently going towards a new level of lows as everyone is continuously thinking that we'll continue to fall, and yesterday I even got a response that we'll be going towards 3.5k on YouTube. I understand, but probably you should be focused on the case that we might be seeing opportunities on the other side in the coming period, and you should argument why that should be the case. Let's get towards the macroeconomics and the latest news. Yesterday the ISM data came out, which gives a number between 0 to 100 and above 50 is positive. The ISM data gives an insight in new orders, production, employment, supplier deliveries and inventories. This means that you will get an insight on the strength of the economy, and when it comes out more positive than expected, the result is that the Fed will most likely continue hiking and the dollar continues to rally. That is not the right response, but that's what we're going to get, or that's what we are actually seeing at this point. The expectations for the ISM non-production data were that we would be getting a number of 55.3, but we actually got a number of 56.9, which ultimately results and leads towards expansion of the US dollar, as we have seen the euro falling down even more towards new lows not seen since 2002. The euro is dropping 5% since the recent high a month ago. However, the strength of the US dollar could change in the coming days. On Thursday, several important events will be taking place and should be taken into account once trading, which could ultimately lead towards technical aspects of a bullish divergence on the euro-dollar pair on higher time frames and a bearish divergence on the dollar on higher time frames as well. First of all, the ECB monetary policy statement will come out with their interests in hiking the interest rates or not. Most likely they will, which has an impact on the strength of the euro and more. Then we also conclude, or this will be concluded by an interest rate decision from the ECB, and then finally a presentation will be given by the ECB President Lagarde regarding these decisions. Secondly, we've also got a speech from Powell on the current financial markets and also on the policy. Most likely we get a response on a decision based from the euro and also the macroeconomic playing field and internal decisions whether or not he'll sustain his hawkish view or whether he'll become more dovish with probably a dropping CPI coming in. Finally, the jobless claims are also coming in, which have been better last week than expected, but the continuous jobless claims are rising. A decisive day and therefore important to watch the market, so it's time to dive into the perspectives on Bitcoin and when you should be able to buy that asset. So let's dive into the charts. So when we're discussing Bitcoin, we can definitely conclude that we are at support again, right? So we have already been stating in previous updates that we were looking at this entire block here. We were also looking at the previous all-time high, which we are currently beneath, and we have not been closing beneath. So it's important to keep an eye on that for the weekly close. If the weekly close is going to be above again, especially above 19.1-ish, it's definitely a trigger that we might be at the end of this correction for now. So that's something you should be keeping an eye out when it comes to the weekly time frame. Secondly, you should be watching whether or not this entire block is going to sustain here, which has been untested in previous runs. Therefore, we came back all the way there. The entire market is still waiting for a crash all the way towards 11.6 to 12k. I think it's a little bit a too crowded trade, and I think that right now already we are getting into a stage or a territory where crowded trades are happening. So if you want to keep an eye on the markets, this is definitely the support zone that we're currently acting in, and we've had a very small rally towards 25k in the last period, which resulted here, and now we are retesting the entire support zone in which we have been taking liquidity beneath the lows previously. So if you're looking at the price action, based on the daily time frame, we were rejecting the area around 20.7, but we were also rejecting around 21.8, resulting into this downwards move, and we are currently facing support. And I stated that in order to actually have any momentum at all, you clearly want to see it regain at least 19.2, but preferably 19.4 to 19.5 in order to actually get into a different trend than the one that we're seeing right now. So in the scenario, if we are looking at higher time frame cases here, definitely this level is something that should be interesting for you as an investor. If you're looking as a trader, we have been discussing this scenario in which we sweep the previous lows, and then once we sweep it, tomorrow we probably are going to bounce back up if Powell and the ECB are going to be well, and then this flip at 19.3 to 19.5, which I've marked here. That is the trigger that you can look for potential longs, and then you're targeting the range high around 24k. That is the optimal trade scenario that we're looking at this case. If we are unable to do so if we are unable to crack 19.4, then we are in bad territory, as then we are going to assume that we retest some levels on the lower areas here, and then the first one is 16.4, and also we've got the area around 17.2, as then it is very likely that we're going to sweep this low and then get towards 16.4 before we get any move at all. And then we are also able to create a higher time frame bullish divergence, a weekly one, which we have not been seeing ever in the markets for Bitcoin. But I think that if you look at real value for Bitcoin, we have not been seeing any value of this ever. So right now, Bitcoin is underpriced significantly. If you're looking at Ether, we discussed this, still following the scenario, honestly. Yesterday we've had the merge. I've marked this entire block for resistance, which actually came in as resistance, and we are still consolidating. I think that Ethereum technically wants to create a higher low here. Small buy the rumor sell the news event taking place, but I do not assume that we go all the way back towards $800 here. I think that we create a higher low and then continue the trend in which the entire supply of ETH has switched to, especially if the merge goes through in a way that it's going to be positive for the blockchain itself. It's probably going to result into continuation of the strength. When we're looking at this chart, you could conclude that we get a bearish divergence based on the 3-day time frame here too, just like we've had here, or any of these cases that we have been seeing previously. But I think that as long as it stays above a few crucial levels, which is probably these highs here right now, I've marked the area around 0.075 first, but I think that you want to see ETH hold above here. If that happens, we can continue creating those bearish divergences and probably get towards here. I don't assume that we get towards 0.10, but the trend remains up. We could be having this bearish divergence, but we need to break a crucial trend before we can actually conclude that the bearish divergence is legit. So let's get towards the conclusion of this update. Thank you for watching this update, which is about the recent events and also the upcoming events tomorrow. And we have discussed everything you need to know about the recent correction of Bitcoin and when you should be watching whether or not you're going to be interested into longing Bitcoin on the higher time frames. If you enjoy what we're doing, make sure to subscribe beneath and like this YouTube update. Also check out our Instagram page or check out our trade letter and premium membership, which you can test for 1 week for free in the description beneath. Make sure to subscribe, have a good day, and also keep an eye on tomorrow as it's going to be a massive day. Ciao!